This is some 3x3 example solves. So here's the first scramble. So here I see a few things. I see this block on white and this edge, so I'm going to look at white. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an F prime to move this here, then an R2 D prime R prime to form this block, then D2, and then solve this edge while solving this edge. So F prime, R2, D prime, R prime, D2 to make this block. And then to solve these two at the same time, you can do R prime U, R prime F. Next you have this pair, which you can solve like this, and then this back right pair, like this. And then here, you could pair it up like this, but I'm going to pair it into a pair. And then I've been learning some ZBLS, and for this one it goes like this. And then for this ZBLL, you recognise that it's a diag pi case, which means that there's pi from this angle and then these two are the same and these two are opposites from each other, and there's this huge block here. The alg goes like this. Like that. Now for the second scramble. So again you have this block on white, which is green red, and the corresponding edge is here. In fact I'm going to ignore this, so I'm just going to do D, R prime, B prime to insert these, and then L2, F2, sorry, not that, I'm going to do F, U2, F to form this pair. And here I could do a wide U prime, which I'm actually going to do because I can insert then cancel into this pair, which would give two left slots, which actually gives you a free pair, like this. And then just solve this pair. But here again I've been learning some ZBLS, so for this like VHLS, you can do this into sledge, or you can do this alg, which is slightly faster. And then for this ZBLL, there's these two are like matching. Okay, for the corner pattern, these two are opposite, and then this one is adjacent, or you can recognize it that these two are the same and this one is opposite. So you recognize it by there being a bar here and an adjacent one here. So you're going to do a U, and the AUF follows with this bar, so it's F prime into this, which is quite nice. Now here is the next scramble. So I immediately see this quite nice yellow cross with a bar here, but looking at white there's some more bars and stuff. So from this angle I'm going to do LRFR to move this, and also put this here, and this actually creates another block, but I'm just going to ignore that and do U prime, and then here I'm actually going to do something quite cool and do a D prime, then insert this, and then insert this edge with U, R, and then here you actually have this. So instead of doing U, R, I can do R prime U, R to kick this edge out, and then I'm just going to insert the edge with a head slammer, and then do D prime U, and then solve this pair. You could like pair this up first, like this, but I'm just going to do this, and then here you have this, and I'm pretty sure that's a ZBLS, and then for this UZBLL, you can recognize it that these two stickers are the same and these two are opposite, or that these two are opposite and these two are matching and these two are opposite. And there's just bars everywhere, so there's these two bars and this bar. So the alg goes like this, R, U prime, R prime, U prime. Then you're going to insert this edge, and then insert this corner, like that. Now for the next scramble. Okay, so this one looks decent. I'm going to do it from this angle, and I'm going to do U2, L2, R2, F, D. So now I can solve this pair in the back left, and I see this pair, and then I can insert, and then I'm going to do, in fact this pair is probably a bit better to do, like that. And then for this is just a ZBLS I know. It's just do this, and then sledge. And then for this UZBLL, you have like, so the corner pattern is these two are the same and these two are opposite, or that these two are the same and these two are opposite. And then you have this Z-perm pattern here. So the AUF goes with this corner, and it goes like this. And then you're going to cancel into back anti soon, like that. Now here is the next solve. So on yellow I see this pair, on white I see this block, and this edge is actually solved. So if I did a D2, then this would be solved. So I am going to do, this. So I can also predict my second pair here. It's going to be this pair. So I'm going to do D R prime D, wide R U wide R prime, then R prime. So if I do D R prime, this edge ends up here, and then D wide R U wide R prime does nothing. Then R prime would kick this edge here. And then as for this corner, doing D R prime would put the white sticker here, and then doing a D would do nothing, and then wide R U wide R prime would put the white sticker here, and then R prime would put it here. So then I can do a U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, L, U prime, L prime to solve the next pair. So to put that together, it's D, R prime, D, wide R, U, wide R prime, then R prime. And now for this pair, you could rotate and do S moves, but to avoid rotations, I'm just going to do this. And then you have this case. So I'm going to do a wide U, insert this and do a wide U prime. Next, this is quite an intuitive ZBLS. You just, to make the pair, you insert the bad edge, and then do that. And for this LZBLL, it's quite like the recognition is quite bad, but you recognize that these two are the same and this one is opposite, and there's no bars anywhere. And then like you can recognize that these two are adjacent. And here is the alg. It's quite a nice alg, to be honest. So you start like a Y perm, but then you do R2 D, R prime U R D prime, and then you do R2 cancel into F sexy F prime, and then that's it. Now for the next scramble. I see quite a few stuff. I'm going to do white though. So I'm going to do it from this angle and do R, U2, R. And then like, F and B prime simultaneously, and then L prime. And this is so I could solve this blue-red pair into the back left, so I can do keyhole, and then I can solve this pair, then rotate, and then you have this pair, and then this pair. I don't know this ZBLS, but I can cancel into this ZBLS, and then U2, and then for this ZBLL, it's a 2GLL. So these two are the opposite, and these two, this one is like adjacent, so this one is just soon, U, and back soon, U. Now for the next one. So with this scramble, you can do this. So you can do R prime F, D L prime D, and then instead of doing R prime, I'm going to do R prime, and then I'm going to do a D2 and then insert this pseudo pair, and then I'm going to insert this corner like this, and then do a D prime, and then if I solve this pair, this will be a rubbish pair, so I'm going to solve this pair, and then this is a rubbish pair anyway, but you can cancel into doing this, and then I can force EO like this. And for this HZBL, for the CP, you recognize it like this, where these two are matching and these two are opposite from each other, and you have this bar here. You're going to do a U, and then you're going to do this arc, and then you're going to do this sort of winter variation like that. Now for number 8. For this one, I'm going to do yellow cross. So I'm going to do L prime, R prime, D prime, R prime, D2, R prime, just like this. And you have quite a bad situation here, but LU, L prime creates this pair, then R prime, U, R, like does that, and then I'm going to solve this pair, and then you have this pseudo pair, but it's just not worth it. And then you can do this, and then I don't really like this case. I just do LU, L prime into this, and then you have this OLL into you could do that, but you could do this as well, either or. Now for the 9th one. So this is very nice, very, very nice. So you have this free pair, and you do have this block, but this edge is here, so you're not going to get much out of it. So I could predict second pair here, I just cannot be bothered. So B prime, no, I'd hold it from here and do D prime, wide R prime, B prime, and then F prime, and then insert this pair into this pair, which I can do like this, into this pair, which I can do like this, into U prime, then a hedge slammer, and then you have another HCBLL, and I recognise this one a bit funnily. So you have the same CP as before, but you have no bars around here. You could recognise that these are all like matching, and you have this like pseudo block, I'm not sure what it is. So I'm going to do F prime, R, U2, R prime, U2, and then the rest just goes like this. Now for number 10. You have this block here, which is quite nice, but instead of making an X cross, I can just force a 3 pair. So from this angle, I'm going to do D, B to make this 3 pair, and then L2, D, and before I do R, I'm going to insert this pair, and I see this, so I can do R, and then do this, and I see this, so I do this, and then here, I could do something like this, but I'm just going to rotate into this ZBLS, and this is a very easy UZBL. It's just a standard COLL. So you have these two are opposite, and these two are opposite, and these two are the same, and these two are the same, and you just have no bars anywhere, and like the edges, and like these two edges need to swap. So it's just like this. So that is 10 3x3 example solves with like intuitive ZBLS, if you want to call it that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.